This episode of WisBusiness.com, the show, is brought to you by BMO Harris, White Hirschbeck Dudek, Madison Gas and Electric, and the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Liz Schrum for the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show. Coming up, Tom Still talks about the importance of trade to the Wisconsin economy. And Rose Oswald Poels, President and CEO of the Wisconsin Bankers Association, discusses what new lending rules mean to banks and their customers. And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report for late March. Rising venture capital. The creation of the 4490 Venture Fund means Wisconsin startups in the information technology sector will have another place to go when seeking investment dollars. The $30 million fund was created by the State of Wisconsin Investment Board and the Wisconsin Alumni Research Foundation. It could validate the market for early-stage investments at a time when state lawmakers are considering a state-leveraged fund. And falling, Walgreens. Walgreens paid the state of Wisconsin a civil fine of just over $29,000 to settle allegations of price scanner inaccuracies. The state says Walgreens also failed to have signs at some locations notifying customers they can receive a refund if charged more than the lowest advertised price. As part of the settlement, Walgreens did not admit any violations of state law. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
Wisconsin is home to less than 2% of the U.S. population, and the United States represents less than 5% of the world's people. With those numbers in mind, it doesn't take a marketing expert to understand the need to sell Wisconsin-made goods and services in places that are often far beyond our borders. Fortunately for Wisconsin, the state is pretty good at doing so and is becoming even more globally competitive. With Governor Scott Walker's trade mission to China set for mid-April, let's review how Wisconsin is performing on the world export stage and why that's important. Wisconsin exports increased by 4.7% in 2012, soaring to $23.1 billion overall. That was good for 18th among the 50 states. In 2009, just 3 years earlier, the total was $16.7 billion. Canada, Mexico, China, Australia, and Japan are the state's leading trade partners, with some European Union trade partners slipping back a few notches last year because of the continued debt crisis and economic slowdown there. Industrial machinery, agricultural products, and electrical machinery are the three largest export categories for Wisconsin. Transportation equipment, paper products, and plastics form the next tier. Understanding the link between trade and jobs in Wisconsin is critical. Exports are vital to tens of thousands of jobs in Wisconsin, from farms in central Wisconsin to factories in Milwaukee. While candidates for public office often talk about cracking down on one trade partner or another, often for reasons that may seem justified, no one wants to see a trade war erupt if one side or the other pushes too hard. The alignment between American interests and those of its major trading partners, from China to the European Union and beyond, is much closer than most voters might suspect. Wisconsin is a good example of that. Trade here is a door to other exchanges involving investors, researchers, and others. Recent exchanges in Wisconsin have involved delegations from China, Taiwan, Germany, Iraq, and other nations. Healthy trade relationships can be political stabilizers in a world that already has more than enough flashpoints. When political campaigns can compel candidates in either major party to talk tough on enforcing trade laws, the reality is that fewer barriers and more transparency yield long-term economic results while enhancing security in the United States and Wisconsin. Exports and foreign direct investments are flip sides of the same coin. They represent Wisconsin's ability to build, produce, and grow what the world needs, and to attract investment from other markets that understand Wisconsin's strengths.
Thanks, Tom. I'll be right back with Rose Oswald Poels, President and CEO of the Wisconsin Bankers Association.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
I'm back with Rose Oswald Poels, President and CEO of the Wisconsin Bankers Association. Thanks for joining us, Rose.
Thank you. Great to be back.
The Dodd-Frank bill was signed into law nearly 3 years ago, but its complexity means banks are still dealing with new regulations that affect lending. What are some examples of new federal rules this year?
There are a lot of mortgage rules coming down on the banking industry over the next 12 to 18 months that really will affect consumers. One of those rules was finalized in January of this year, essentially creating what we call a plain vanilla mortgage loan product. A loan that meets the definition of a qualified mortgage is going to be given special protection from litigation and from close regulatory scrutiny. But unfortunately for consumers, what doesn't fit into a qualified mortgage box includes balloon loan products, which many consumers take advantage of for one reason or another, including those that really have trouble qualifying for more traditional 30-year fixed rate financing.
And how do these rules and regulations affect people who want to get a home mortgage or finance a small business?
Yeah, those individuals who have a debt-to-income ratio greater than 43%, or those that might have a bankruptcy or a short sale in their recent past. They might be salespeople who have commission-only income. Farmers often have trouble qualifying, as well as small business sole proprietors. All of those types of individuals are the kinds of people that typically, when they need to buy a home, they need to get balloon loan financing. That's the only type of credit really available for them. So the bankers in Wisconsin are very concerned about the impact these rules are going to have in terms of access to credit by people that typically qualify for balloon rate mortgages, because the government's just making it that much harder for banks to offer that product starting next year.
Looking ahead, will banks be able to manage these regulations, or will it lead to more consolidation and fewer choices for consumers?
You know, regulation's always been a part of the banking industry, and it appropriately should be and will continue to well into the future. But the pendulum has really swung too far in terms of regulatory burden for banks. And while regulation expenses are definitely going up, they by themselves are not going to cause consolidation, but it will be one factor that really leads to the question for banks in terms of whether they really want to and are able to stay independent anymore, or if they need to combine and consolidate with another community bank in their area.
Thanks, Rose, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by BMO Harris, White Hirschbeck Dudek, MG&E, and UW-Milwaukee. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum of Talent Foot Executive Search. See you next time.